Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. Should the Warriors take a chance and bring in a star who was once feared by NBA rivals? Yes, Russell Westbrook's price tag is low and he could return to his prime alongside Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler. The Warriors are being floated as a landing spot for Russell Westbrook. The Golden State Warriors could use some reinforcements. By the end of their second-round series against the Minnesota Timberwolves, they were playing some guys who probably would be fully riding the bench on better teams. That's why the Warriors' free agency moves are going to be key to next season and the future. One player who just became available is Russell Westbrook. Westbrook declined his player option with the Denver Nuggets on Friday and now will enter the summer as a free agent. Westbrook's free agency candidacy adds an interesting wrinkle to this year's free agent market. Westbrook has been loved and hated on his myriad of teams since leaving the Thunder, and whoever ends up signing him will get all the good and all the bad that comes with him. For Golden State, he presents an interesting option for a bench role. The Westbrook Warriors fit is one that could go very well or very poorly. On the one hand, the Warriors need Westbrook's energy and production. Even at 36 years old, Westbrook played in 75 games for the high-seeded Denver Nuggets last season. Westbrook's stats were fairly impressive as well, notching 13.3 points, 4.9 rebounds, and 6.1 assists in almost 28 minutes per game. The Warriors need a player like Westbrook to take some load off of Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler during the regular season. What they don't need is the erratic play, the turnovers, and the lack of shooting. As the Warriors' free agency plans become clearer, we will likely find out if they are looking for more battle-tested veterans like Westbrook or young guns to help their vets next season. Regardless, it is interesting to think about what a Westbrook Warriors fit could look like. Warriors predicted to draft West Virginia star, step in immediately. As the Golden State Warriors navigate the 2025 NBA offseason, their focus remains on maximizing the championship window for their veteran core of Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green. With Curry at 37 and Butler at 35, the Warriors face the challenge of an aging roster, a situation compounded by their limited draft capital following the blockbuster trade for Butler in February 2025. Having sent their first-round pick, number 20 overall, to the Miami Heat, Golden State enters the 2025 NBA draft armed only with the number 41 pick, acquired via the Heat in a multi-team deal. Despite the late selection, the Warriors have an opportunity to address critical roster needs, particularly at the point guard position, as they aim to bolster depth behind their superstar backcourt. Bleacher Report's Greg Swartz recently highlighted the Warriors' draft predicament, noting their need for immediate contributors rather than long-term projects. The Golden State Warriors have a few needs on what's become an elderly team, Swartz wrote. They sent their first-round pick to the Miami Heat in the Jimmy Butler deal and will only have the number 41 overall pick at their disposal. Finding a new starting center to help preserve Draymond Green should be a priority this summer, although the Warriors won't find one this late in the draft. This team lacks a backup point guard behind Stephen Curry and should be eyeing older college players who can step in immediately to the back end of the rotation, Swartz continued. West Virginia senior point guard Javon Small could be an option as he averaged 18.6 points and 5.6 assists this past season. Small's ability to score efficiently and facilitate makes him an intriguing fit for Golden State's motion offense, where quick decision-making and perimeter shooting are paramount. Small's college production suggests he could contribute immediately, a priority for a Warriors team in win-now mode. His 1.8 steals per game highlight his defensive tenacity, a trait that aligns with Coach Steve Kerr's emphasis on two-way play. While not an elite athlete, Small's craftiness and high basketball IQ could help him carve out a role. At number 41, Small represents a low-risk, high-reward option for a team that has historically found gems late in the draft, like Draymond Green, number 35 in 2012, and Quinton Post, number 52 in 2024. The Warriors' draft strategy also reflects broader roster concerns. Preserving Green, who at 35 remains the defensive anchor, is critical, but Swartz notes that a starting center is unlikely at number 41. Instead, targeting a guard like Small would allow Golden State to address depth while potentially exploring free agency or trades for frontcourt help. General Manager Mike Dunleavy Jr. has a knack for identifying late draft steals, as evidenced by post-rotational minutes as a rookie. If Small is available at number 41, he could be the latest coup, providing insurance behind Curry and injecting youth into an aging roster. New report on potential Warriors trade for $195 million All-Star. The Golden State Warriors have reportedly had plenty of interest in Utah Jazz forward Lauri Markkanen over the years, but it appears the possibility of the Finnish star landing in the Bay Area this offseason has came and went. According to a recent report from The Athletic's Anthony Slater, the Warriors are not expected to pursue Markkanen this offseason despite their heavy interest in offseasons past. Markkanen signed a 5-year, $238 million contract last July and now has 4 years and $195 million remaining. Markkanen averaged 19 points and 5.8 rebounds in 47 appearances with the Jazz this offseason. That was a steep decline in production from his previous 2 seasons in Utah, where he averaged 25.6 points and 8.6 rebounds in 2022 to 2023 and 23.2 points and 8.2 rebounds in 2023 to 24, respectively. Markkanen spent the first 4 seasons of his career with the Chicago Bulls before being traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers in August 2021. There, he spent 1 season before being traded again in September 2022 for an outgoing package that included star Donovan Mitchell. Markkanen has spent the last 3 seasons in Utah, posting the 3 highest scoring seasons of his 8-year career. While there hasn't been any definitive reporting on whether or not Markkanen is actually on the trade block, a recent report from NBA insider Tony Jones indicated that no one on the Jazz, including Markkanen, is untouchable. Eastern Conference team urged to trade for Steph Curry's Warriors teammate. The Golden State Warriors lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves in the second round of this year's playoffs in 5 games. 2-time MVP Steph Curry suffered a grade 1 left hamstring strain in Game 1 and missed the rest of the series. The Warriors won Game 1 in Minnesota but lost the next 4 games without Curry. Golden State's core for next season is projected to be Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green. Jonathan Kuminga becomes a restricted free agent this offseason, so the Warriors control his future. As a restricted free agent, the Warriors can match any offer sheet Kuminga signs. However, according to Anthony Slater and Marcus Thompson, 2 of The Athletic, Kuminga and the Warriors are expected to explore sign-and-trade options this summer, and Grant Hughes of Bleacher Report believes the Chicago Bulls should make a push for Kuminga. At the very least, Kuminga's elite athleticism, self-creation, and free-throw drawing prowess could balance out some of Josh Giddey's deficiencies, Hughes wrote. Since we have to assume the Bulls aren't going to tear their roster down anytime soon, prioritizing players in their early 20s would at least offer some upside in their annual pursuit of 42 wins. Kuminga appeared in 47 games for the Warriors this season. He averaged 15.3 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 2.2 assists while shooting 45.4% from the field, 30.5% from 3 and 66.8% from the foul line. Kuminga turns 23 in October. He has career averages of 12.5 points, 4.0 rebounds, and 1.8 assists. The Bulls haven't made the playoffs since 2022. They could use a talented young player like Kuminga. Warriors reveal obvious championship priorities through pre-draft process. This could be a good sign. As the Golden State Warriors enter the 2025 NBA Draft, they are currently only in possession of the 41st overall pick, which they received from the Miami Heat in the Jimmy Butler trade. However, despite a weakened draft class as a result of the allure of nil deals, the organization is evidently hoping to land an impact player in the second round, as they have primarily invited older college players to work out with the organization. While these players' age does not guarantee that they will automatically be able to contribute to the rotation, it is clear that Golden State is on the hunt for a player that needs less polishing than the typical college prospect, a continued sign that the organization is looking to contend now rather than later. The Warriors need an immediate contributor in the draft, if they can land one. While it is still a possibility that the Warriors might trade up to the first round in order to maximize their chances of grabbing a high-ceiling prospect, their evaluation process as of now indicates that they will stay pat in the second round, looking to maximize the value of their current pick. In recent years, the front office has done an excellent job with this task, nabbing Quinton Post with the 52nd overall pick in 2024 and Guy Santos with the 55th in 2022. While Santos, who was an international prospect, was still a teenager when he was drafted, Post, who was drafted out of Boston College, was 24 years old. Both have already become contributors to the rotation, with Post receiving a stretch of starting minutes this past season as a rookie. Through the pre-draft process, the Warriors have almost exclusively invited players who have played 4 or more years in college to work out with the organization, signaling their intention to draft a player of similar experience to Post. Moreover, the players they have invited primarily fall into 2 positional categories: scoring guards and defensive-minded centers. Among the guards they have invited are Caleb Grill out of Missouri, Bryce Williams out of Nebraska, Ryan Nembhard out of Gonzaga, and L.J. Cryer out of Houston. All 4 of these players averaged double-digit points in their last season in college, with Williams averaging a stunning 20.4. Among the centers they have invited to work out Nate Biddle, out of Oregon, and Amari Williams, out of Kentucky, show the most promise. Biddle, specifically, averaged 14.2 points, 7.6 rebounds, and 1.9 assists through 35 games last season. Both positional archetypes would fit well into Golden State's current needs, as they have space in their backcourt for another scoring option with the likely departures of Pat Spencer and Gary Payton II, and, given their current center rotation, could use a large body to grab rebounds and establish a presence in the paint. While their pursuit of an older player at their draft position is not unusual, it does indicate a desire for an immediate contributor, and fans can expect that whoever they draft could see time in the rotation early in the season. D'Angelo Russell reveals what sets Steph Curry apart mentally, and why he's his favorite. Is there anyone who doesn't love Steph Curry? Kids shooting in the driveway want to play like him, and even his teammates and competitors alike agree that there's never been anybody like him. Steph is your favorite player's favorite player, and he's proven why time and time again. Steph's unlimited range is always the first thing people think of that sets him apart, but there's so much more to his game, from his unparalleled leadership to his flamboyant passing to his underrated finishing ability at the rim. One ingredient in Chef Curry's kitchen that's often overlooked is the way, unlike some players who shall not be named, he doesn't rely on the refs to get his points. Steph is an ethical hooper, and his former teammate D'Angelo Russell said recently that it's the reason he's so unique. Steph plays the game with this, "I don't need the refs" mentality, Russell said on his podcast. When you look around the league, who's doing that? That's why he gets so much credit, that's why he's my favorite player. That's why I respect him so much. DLO played with Steph on the Warriors for only half a season back in 2019-20 before being traded to the Wolves at the deadline, but that short time together was enough to leave quite an impression on him. He's also played alongside LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Karl Anthony Towns, so it's really telling that Steph is still his favorite. Many fans believe that Steph has battled the refs throughout his career. Every team designs their entire defensive game plan around stopping him, and their strategies have included picking him up full court, trapping him when he crosses the half-court line, bumping and grabbing him when he attempts to get around a screen, and trying to bully him on the other end of the court. Houston's Dillon Brooks even took to intentionally hitting Steph on his injured thumb whenever he contested a shot when the two met in a first-round playoff series this year. Thought it all, Steph has persevered to become one of the best players of his or any generation. Conversely, the uphill battle Steph fights against the refs is cancelled out to some degree by the things his teammate Draymond Green gets away with. Draymond is known as a to tread the line and has at times gone overboard, and Steph doesn't need to talk to the refs because Draymond is always in their ear. If basketball were wrestling, Steph would be the league's most popular babyface, while Draymond would be its biggest heel. Having them inextricably linked to the Warriors through all these years is what has made that team so fascinating to follow.